Before the break, we asked which circus skill has Danielle Hope mastered? The answer? Aerial trapeze.
That's aerial trapeze as opposed to trapeze on the ground, which I imagine is a lot duller for the fans and a lot safer for the artists. I guess so.
Trapeze on the ground.
Look at me! I'm rooted trapezing. Welcome back. Katie Brown and Ben Adams still with us. Hope you are too. And now, please give a warm Wright stuff welcome rather to the fabulous Danielle Hope. Good morning. Aged just 18, Danielle beat 9,000 other hopefuls to win the BBC One musical reality competition Over the Rainbow. It was 5 years back now.
5 years ago this weekend.
This weekend?
Yes, yeah.
The prize was a part as Dorothy in Andrew Lloyd Webber's West End production of The Wizard of Oz. Since then, though, her career has definitely been following the yellow brick road, the golden brick road. She wowed Prince Charles at the Royal Variety Performance starring both Les Mis and Joseph, and she's now getting back in the musical habit with the new tour of the Rodgers and Hammerstein classic The Sound of Music. For the one person who may never have seen it, which was me up until 4 years ago, what's it about? People will look at me so strangely when I say it, but I've never seen The Great Escape either.
Oh, my goodness.
No. Or Mary
I think
Poppins.
you'd have to be... Oh, that's my favourite film of all time. Oh, no.
Mary Poppins.
Oh,
Matthew.
yes.
I saw Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. Is it a bit like that?
No, that's your afternoon sort of.
That is today, yes.
It's not how I was planning to spend that night, I have to say.
Well, The Sound of Music is about a young postulant who finds herself with a captain and 7 children and has to be a governess for them, and then ends up falling in love with the captain, which is then, she thinks, against her religion, and goes through this huge adventure with this family and with herself. And it's during when the Nazis were coming into Austria, and it's kind of about their escape and having to deal with all of that oncoming, as well as all of the beautiful music that everybody knows and all of the gorgeous songs and the children. But there's definitely that kind of danger and that edge kind of approaching. So it's such a very crazy and very dangerous time to be in the world. And
it's quite weird because it's got some amazing numbers in it, hasn't it?
Yes.
I mean, unbelievable songs.
Some of the ones...
Even I could caught that bit.
Yes, I bet you knew the songs and didn't realise that they were in The Sound of Music.
Yeah, and I guess you're Maria.
Apart from the... Yes,
I'm guessing you're Maria.
Yes,
Yeah. And it's a touring production. Actually, the tour started a while ago.
Yeah, we opened in Bromley at the Churchill in January, and we've just had a 4-week break due to scheduling. So we open tomorrow in Milton Keynes.
So you're reopening?
We're reopening, yes, in Milton Keynes.
Do you get extra rehearsals?
No. We're just going in tomorrow and we'll do sound check.
That'll be interesting.
Yes.
I had one day off on Friday and I feel I'm rusty. A month off.
I know.
That's like the ultimate performer's bad dream. I still have recurring dreams about doing that for musicals I was in.
Yes.
Suddenly being phoned up 10 years later and going, we're doing Sweeney Todd now. Get on!
Sweeney.
You were mildly nervous about Milton Keynes tonight, then?
Yes, I've definitely had a few of those dreams. Oh, my goodness. I spoke to some of the cast as well, and they're just
I'm not surprised.
But I'm hoping that we just get in, and I mean, I bet the children will be the most chilled out of all of us. They're so wonderful.
They'll learn.
Yes.
They'll learn. Do you out of interest? Do you have the same children all the way through on the tour?
We
Is
have
it changing?
3 families.
3 families,
yes, because they do a lot. So they do 4 shows each a week.
OK, it's quite
and
a lot
they alternate.
It's
How
was the
such a
youngest,
lot.
8 or something like that?
7.
7?
7, yeah. She was 6 when we started, but 7.
What about you, Christian, Ben?
Yeah, so it's been like 50 years since Julie Andrews played Maria on the big screen. Do you get to put your own take on the role, or does someone just come and just say, that's how you got to play it, don't deviate from the...
from the plan?
From the path?
Well, you obviously have a director, and they have a very clear vision, and you bring your own opinion. And...
Can I just ask, because I've never seen the film?
OK.
Is her performance supposed to be the one to beat, then?
Well...
It's the one everyone knows,
It's the one,
it?
yeah,
So
everyone's very familiar with it.
No.
Not everyone.
Everyone bar
Almost everybody.
It's sort of almost how people think of her as well, isn't it? Of being this kind of absolutely pure, pure soul sort of woman who comes through her singing voice.
Absolutely. And Julie Andrews is one of my biggest heroes and idols, and I definitely like followed her growing up through, you know, this show and this movie, and also Mary Poppins. But I think it would be impossible for me to do what Julie does, because I'm Danielle and Julie is Julie. So I never really think about doing it differently. I'm just like, okay, let's find the story, let's find the truth, and just tell their story in the best way that I can. And, you know, we do 8 shows a week, so you're doing the same show 8 times a week in all these different venues. 6 months I'm doing, so I finish in Liverpool in September. And so we've been like all over the country. We go to Ireland for all of August. It's really exciting.
And this is all from doing a BBC talent show.
I know, I know.
I'm a big fan of The Sound of Music. It's one of my top 3 favourite films. So if we're going to get on for the rest of the week, Matthew. The other two are slightly weirder.
Okay. Maybe I need to know about the other two and we can find some common ground.
Woody Allen features in the other.
Okay, that's cool.
But,
that's cool. We can work
it's
with
a
that.
wonderful film. It really is, of its type. It's incredible. But and I love all the songs. But there is one song, isn't there, that requires a certain vocal dexterity. Did you have to learn to yodel?
Yes, trial and error. Oh my goodness. And so did the children. And it was actually the song I was most scared of in the whole show.
Is there a skill to yodeling?
I don't know.
Well, apparently Julie Andrews said you're either a singer or a yodeler, so I don't know what bracket I fall into. I don't know. Yodelay, yodelay, yodeloo. But we set and blocked that song as the last one of all of them. For some reason, it just, we'll come back to that, we'll come back to that. And I was thinking, please don't, please don't. Not in the show.
Oh, is it not?
No, not in the original show. There's no puppets. I just have to get creative.
I thought I saw that in the last stage production I saw. So puppets night.
Oh, really?
Off with the puppets, yeah.
And I was so nervous just putting that, and we did it like 2 days before we opened, and because it's so repetitive and all the yodeling and like with the children, but it's now like my favourite part of the show. Yeah.
It's been getting like amazing reviews though. I've seen quite. It said I've just written one down here. It said 5 stars, a brilliant and entertaining production that leaves you warm and fuzzy inside. But do you pay attention to what people write, good and bad? Or?
I think if you take the good, you have to take all of the bad.
Well said.
And if you don't want that, then I think you should just not pay attention
What
at all.
have you got down there, by the way?
In this little bag.
Is it a little horse?
Now, on the subject of the little Katie's horse,
I didn't bring the horse today.
Jeremy Edwards said he left it there. He was feeling under the weather. He was a bit hoarse. That's what he said. That's why he's not here. So what's in the bag?
From an American leading lady that I had the pleasure of working with, Sierra Boggess, when we work together, when you do the same thing 8 times a week, and also when you're touring, you have press nights every time you get to a new venue. And this was a really great way I found to like anchor myself for each performance. And I'll get one of them out. I'll pick one for today.
Drugs, is it?
No, it's not. It's words. They're just cards. They're just cards. Okay. And I pick a word before each show in the half for what I need for that show, and I try and incorporate it.
And you just pick it randomly out of the bag? Or...
Well, I wait until I feel like I'm like connected to one of them. So let's pick one for the right stuff.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, here we go, here we go.
Better be good.
Strength.
OK, yeah, we like that. We like strength.
So we can all find our strength in today's show and somehow use that to anchor us.
Discernment? No, that's not profitable. Trust, we can live without
Matthew,
that.
please do not destroy the magic of theatre.
Is money in that bag?
Good God,
no.
Matthew.
Nobody ever does it for the money.
Prosperity could be in there.
Is there anyone more in need of watching The Sound of Music than you? Please.
I don't know. And one last thing I need to ask. The trapeze thing.
Yes.
Aerial trapeze. Is there any other form of trapeze?
There's flying trapeze, which is when you see with the doubles in the circus and things. That's with no... An aerial and static trapeze is, like you say, bars at different levels, but they are in one place, so they won't move across the room. I fell into it, really. It's always been...
Really, oh, gosh, that was appropriate choice of word. Is that in the bag? I fell into trapeze.
The first kind of entertainment I ever saw was the circus with my grandparents, and I've always been fascinated by it. And now I haven't been on the trapeze since I was like 5 years old, so I'm probably never going to make it to Cirque du Soleil.
Five?
No, never. I never have.
Care. Dear.
So I found a place and started to do some training, and it's totally hobby. It's like nothing
just
professional.
for fun.
Just for fun. And then did the silks as well, and it's one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like every muscle in your body. And because I carried the Totos in the Wizard of Oz so much, I had all this upper body strength that I'd never had before. So I kind of had this false sense of security. So now when I'm trying and I'm not carrying Toto every day, it's a lot harder.
This is an absolute education for me, if not for you. Education?
Is that in there? That will be in there. Oh, it's here.
Wisdom.
It's out. It's out.
Education's out. Tell that to Nicky Morgan. Right. Contentment. I found my word. So here's what's still to come on today's show. Healing. Humour healing.
I think this is against the spirit of the bag, Matthew. You're supposed to connect with it and then you just pick out one.
It's usually one word a day.
One word a day. I'm overdosing on words.
Overdosed.
Listen, time for you to catch your breath. Stormy, over for you, Tell from your exasperation, you've obviously been camping.
Only once, but I like the romantic idea of camping.
Who took you camping last time?
My dad, my uncle, and all of the boys in the family. So I was the only female on the trip.
And you found it romantic?
No, I know. I said I like the idea of the being in the outdoors and the sunset, but the reality of it is very different, isn't it? Yes.
Well, it depends on the. I mean, I get the weather thing. I mean, I have done.
I had like fish and shrimps like put in my sleeping bag. But yes, boys, thank you.
Character building. There we go.
Yes. Deal with that.
You tried it. Your boyfriend Dan is an actor, isn't it?
Yes.
And you met on a show together?
No, just met in New York.
Right.
We haven't worked together, but we're in the same industry. And I think it totally depends what you do. Because if you both work 9 to 5 and you're on the same schedule, then I wouldn't necessarily say it was good or bad if you work together. But when you're freelance and it's constantly changing and the hours, like you work most of the weekends and on public holidays, if I was in my position and my partner worked 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, we would never see each other.
It's really interesting. I've got a friend whose partner was in musical theatre and never saw each other.
If they finish at 5, you go in at 5 and then you're,
Especially when
double
you're touring
shows.
as well, because then you're away for months.
Absolutely.
Would you think about, would you be open to the idea of being in a production together, or would that be, let's say, a year-long tour of something together? Would that be a good thing because you can see each other, or a bad thing because you can't get away from each other?
I think if you are strong enough in your relationship and in yourself to go, OK, this is work and my individual time is just as important as the relationship, and you're not, like, living and breathing together every second of the day. Absolutely. And just, like, a healthy balance, I think. If I wouldn't oppose to working with him, I think it would be brilliant, especially because we're, like, long distance as well. It would be really beneficial, but because he's touring the US and I'm touring here.
Is it?
No, but I'll take it. And yeah, I think as long as you are strong enough to kind of say, OK, I need my time now, and not get offended when the other person needs that as well, then you're fine.
Katie? Danielle, because that's it for today. Farewell, auf Wiedersehen, guten Nacht. Don't miss her, Sound of Music, Milton Keynes Theatre until next Saturday, and then all over the country until August. I'm sure it's actually knockout. Ben, Katie, cracking start to the week. We'll see you tomorrow. Ladies and gents, give it up for your fabulous panel. Thank you very much.